Now to the veterinarian from the Adirondacks who traveled all the way to Ukraine to help out the pets who, like the people living there, are suffering from the ravages of the war. Here's our Jack LaDuke.
As Russia attacks the Ukraine with bombs, missiles, and soldiers, brave Ukrainians are fighting back to save their country. They have shown remarkable resistance and even gains in the unprovoked Russian attack. Dr. John Cogar, a veterinarian, and Dmitry Feld, who lived in the Ukraine for years and speaks Ukrainian, asked Cogar of Saranac Lake if he would want to go to the Ukraine to help the animals there. A Ukrainian animal rescue group called Dmitry Feld, asking him if he could find a veterinarian to send over to the Ukraine to operate on animals. Well, Dr. John Cogar, a longtime veterinarian in the Tri-Lakes area, answered the call and stepped forward, and before long was in the Ukraine operating on animals.
He says, I want to tell you something real serious, and he got kind of gray, and I listened, and he said, I am going to Ukraine. I said, nothing. I basically couldn't talk to him for 2 days because I just didn't think it was real. He's always had Doctors Without Borders on his mind, and he gets the information continually, even today. And he always said, someday I want to do that.
Dr. Cogar had 3 goals to accomplish while in the Ukraine.
My goal in going there was threefold. One, to obviously take care of the pets, the dogs and cats, which we did, and we counted up the surgeries, and it was over 75, close to 75 surgeries, which averaged like 9 to 11 per day in the 7-8 days we were there doing surgery. So that obviously was an accomplishment that I set out for. That was my main goal. But the second goal, of course, was to help the people, because the two things are very interconnected. You know, these are family members to these people, and it was so uplifting to them emotionally, because sometimes that's all they had after being bombed out of their homes. Yeah. So that felt really good.
Cogar said that people hugged them, brought them food, and were grateful. Being a good American ambassador was part of his goal.
It didn't take long for us to see the terrible destruction, you know, the bombed out buildings, numerous buildings, and houses, people's homes just destroyed. And then, of course, you could see the evidence of carnage. You know, you see, every time you saw a car riddled with machine gun, you know, you had to recognize that it represented a human being that lost their life.
Spading and neutering of dogs and cats made up most of his surgery, making them more adoptable to the public, Cogar said. The U.S. Lewis Association in Lake Placid has collected truckloads of winter clothes, portable radios, first aid items, and more, and sent them to the Ukraine.
It was like a mosaic of life. You see one thing, then you see destroyed Russian tanks. Then you see destroyed Ukrainian homes. Then you meet people who lost loved ones. Then you meet people who just came back from being displaced. And then you go to the supermarket and it's full of food. And you're thinking, wow, how they function that? But their morale is extremely high. They're not going to give up till they win that war.
Repeatedly, I heard over and over from military people and from civilians just how much they are grateful to America, the country.
For Mountain Lake Journal, I'm Jack LaDuke in Lake Placid.
Jack LaDuke's Adirondack Journal on Mountain Lake PBS is made possible with support by Northline Utilities.